Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. The last few days, there's been a lot of speculation in the social media, triggered by a letter coming from President Mnangagwa's office, in which Comrade Anselmo Namo Sanyatwe was retired from the army and given the position of Minister of Sport and Arts. Many people saw that as a demotion. And many speculated that it could not be done. The truth of the matter is, yes, as much as the Constitution requires that certain procedures were to be followed, we know that in Zimbabwe, the powers that be do not follow the law. They only apply the law if it is their purpose. If it doesn't serve their purpose, they ignore the law. And so when that letter was sent, many people said, no, it cannot be done, it will be challenged, etc., etc. And today, ex-army commander Sanyatwe was sworn in as Minister of Sport. Period. So Mnangagwa did what he wanted to do. Who is this guy anyway? Some people may ask. Well, first time some of us got to know him was in 2018. He was named as one of the commanding officers of the soldiers who shot to kill the civilians on the 1st of August 2018. The people were protesting that the elections had been rigged. And for that, they were shot dead. Those who know him better will tell you that he has been involved in the army and was involved in the military coup of 2017, etc., etc. In other words, he was one of the military men who played his part in creating and imposing the ZANU-PF one-party state. That is the bottom line. And he himself, when he was promoted, he did not hesitate to show that his devotion to ZANU-PF was total. Here is him in his army days speaking at a gathering somewhere in Inyanga, people say. And as an senior army officer, he should not be involved in politics. And yet, here he is.
Saka ZANU-PF ichatonga kusvika madhonge ameranya. Muchida musingadi.
Ameni.
Apa ndakutaura sakomanda ami. Shashandisa inonzi command voting.
Yes.
Yeah. Nyaya yemasapuku waridzi wemusangano tazvigadzira.
Amen.
Vamberi naID Mnangagwa pasi nemhandu security forces. Saka PC mkuru wemaudondini
Well. Those were the days when he felt that he was walking on water. Now he has fallen out with Mnangagwa. And is being removed from the army unceremoniously. In Shona, we say that I am Sambuku. Eating humble pie. The problem with some of our Zimbabwean leaders, particularly those in the army, the police, the CIO, judiciary, civil servants, and so forth, they forget that their duty in their various positions is to the people of Zimbabwe and not to the regime. But while they hold their position, they believe they owe everything to the regime. And this is why we keep having this sorry situation where the people are denied their fundamental rights by the regime. ZANU-PF has been able to blatantly rig elections because of the short-sightedness of some of those who found themselves in positions of power and authority. Here he is, Sanyatwe, Mchida, Msingadi, speaking after he was sworn in as minister. Speaking after eating humble pie.
Tende zvikuru zvemukuru wenyika. Mukuru
I'm sorry about the sound. Seems to have lost the sound there. But what he was trying to say there is he's pleased with his appointment.
Ambassador. Tichifamba rwendo runyowani runoona ndine mabasa anoda kuzvipira pachirungu commitment, kuzvibata kunyanya discipline pachirungu anoda kudzogorora ministry nevana vedu mayouth tichifamba kuti nendangariro nezvatinotarisira kusimudza vana vedu vadiki kuti vanga vari vanhu vanozikanwa, tichibatanidza nyika kuti tisimudze upfumi hwenyika igone kugara zvakanaka, tichiziva kuti constituency yakakura ndeyevana vadiki. Saka tichange tiripo tichiona kuti tafamba here sechikwata. Taura kuchaita kushoma, tinofanira kudeliver, tinofanira bate kuti izvi ndo zviri kuitwa neministry ndatenda.
Well, he has eaten humble pie. I think it should really serve as a reminder to those who still hold positions of power and authority that they are not gods, that they are holding that position, particularly in a regime which is riddled right through with instability, a party of thugs. What is happening in ZANU-PF right now is the fight for power. Our friend here is considered to be one of the VP Chiwenga supporters. And that's why he was booted out of his army position. The factional war is intensifying. He was involved, according to some sources, in the military coup of 2017. Then Chiwenga, Mnangagwa were in the same faction, in the same ZANU-PF faction, the Lacoste. But no sooner had the Lacoste prevailed in the 2017 war that the party started again to divide into factions. Rumor has it that Mnangagwa and Chiwenga had agreed that Mnangagwa will serve one term and then hand over to Chiwenga. So you were supposed to serve 2018 to 2023. But before 2023 arrived, Mnangagwa decided he wanted to stay on a bit longer. And so he outmaneuvered Chiwenga to stay in. And although the country's constitution says an individual can only serve a maximum of 2 terms as president, Mnangagwa wanted to stay beyond his 2-term limit, which is supposed to end 2028. This whole affair of Mnangagwa 2030 is based on the assumption, or rather claim, that Mnangagwa is the only man who is able to develop the country to become a an upper middle income nation by 2030. And so the party made a resolution last November during their party conference in Bulawayo that Mnangagwa should be allowed to stay in power until 2030. This, as you could well imagine, annoyed Chiwenga naturally, who thought it was his turn to take over. And some of Chiwenga's supporters have been behind this whole idea that this Mnangagwa 2030 is rubbish. And our friend, Sanyatwe, was or is in the Chiwenga faction. So now he found himself in the wrong basket. And hence, what he's paying, the humiliation he's receiving. The most important lesson here that should be learned by all is that people like Sanyatwe should stand for the rights and freedoms of the people and not try to promote the selfish interests of whoever appointed them into positions of power and authority. His address to that audience about ZANU-PF ichatonga kusvika madhonga meranyanga is at the heart of our problem in Zimbabwe. It's at the heart of why Zimbabwe is a failed state. We cannot pretend that there is anything to be saved by this de facto one-party state. As much as ZANU-PF leaders did spearhead the liberation war, we have to agree that one's involvement in the fight for independence does not give him or her the divine right to rule the country. The mandate to govern the country should come from the people in a free, fair, and credible electoral process. Zimbabwe is a failed state because for the last 45 years, the nation has been stuck with this corrupt, incompetent, and tyrannical ZANU-PF regime that rigged elections to stay in power, that brainwashed officials like Sanyatwe to believe that ZANU-PF ichatonga kusvika madhonga meranyanga. ZANU-PF will rule forever. 45 years after independence, we are still grappling with that issue. How are we going to be governed? What kind of political system are we going to have? And by now, it should be clear that the de facto one-party state has failed the nation. We can't keep on repeating the same mistake. Unfortunately, this so-called Gaza revolution is asking the nation to do exactly that. The Gaza revolution is pushing, demanding that Mnangagwa and those around him must resign. And they want to replace Mnangagwa with Chiwenga. This is just a repeat of what we did in 2017, when the military coup demanded that Mugabe must go. And the same military coup imposed Mnangagwa as the leader to take the nation forward. As we know, and as we knew then, Mnangagwa is corrupt, Mnangagwa is incompetent. And so it is no surprise at all that nothing changed. Chiwenga is not squeaky clean either. Chiwenga is just as corrupt, as incompetent as any of the others are not their thugs. So the idea that this uprising, if it's successful, would impose Chiwenga, it's laughable. What would we have changed? We cannot keep on repeating the same mistake over and over again. That is the message I would like to leave with the people of Zimbabwe today. And to those in positions of power and authority, they should be humble enough to know that those positions, if it's a public position, you are to serve the public and not those who appointed you into those positions. And our friend Sanyatwe, Mchida, Msingadi, I hope that today you'll remember that. Thank you very much. Have a good day.